Alright guys, it's finally here. The first official trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu just dropped, and we've got the official poster as well. And wow, there are so many deep cut Easter eggs packed into this thing. Some are pretty obvious, but a few of them I haven't seen anyone talking about them yet. And that's not all guys, because this is huge news. We finally have an official release date for the film, which will be May 22nd of 2026. And holy smokes, I cannot wait. It feels like it's been forever since I've been able to see a Star Wars film in the theaters. Not to mention that the new title for the film looks a lot like the titles of the classic Indiana Jones films, so to me this points that Mando and Grogu will not only be an adventure, but also the two of them will need to uncover a mystery. Now this trailer is different than the one we got at the past Star Wars Celebration. Overall it has more footage, but also it's missing the AT-AT fight scene, which was really popular at Celebration. I guess Disney overall wanted this to be a sneak peek for those that attended Celebration, you know, give them a little bit of incentive to want to buy tickets for future celebrations. Any more time because there is so much in each frame of this trailer, so let's break it down. But before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments, is this the Star Wars movie you've been waiting for? And this is crazy because right at the start of the trailer we're back on the beaches of Adelphi, which is home to the Adelphi Rangers and the squadron that Carson Teva belongs to. And in the shot we see an ST-70 Razor Crest assault gunship, but obviously it's not the one we saw before because Din Djarin's was blown up by Moff Gideon in season 2 of The Mandalorian, and this one has yellow squadron markings. Next we get our first look at Din and Grogu hiding behind some sand dunes, and it looks like they're still on Adelphi, and Grogu seems to be looking through a scope of some sort. Alright, now this next part is super interesting. The trailer cuts to what looks like a first person view from Grogu's perspective, but it's not. They want us to think it's what Grogu's looking at, but if you're paying attention you'll know it doesn't line up because Grogu's using a scope which would give us a single eye view, just like when Mando was shooting Jawas in season 1 with his Amban phase pulse rifle, but here we're seeing a dual lens view like someone's using electro binoculars. And through that view we see a patrol of remnant stormtroopers, so maybe somebody else is tracking Imperial movement, we don't know yet. Either way, it's a clever edit. Up next we have Grogu and an Anzellan sneaking through a sewer system, and it seems like the Anzellans are going to have a moderately sized role in this film, which should be no surprise to any of us since they are a fan favorite and they're definitely going to generate money for Disney. And guys, this next reveal is huge. Sigourney Weaver is officially in the film and she's playing the squadron leader of the Adelphi Rangers, and you can tell by the rank insignia that she is a commander, which is the same rank as Luke and Wedge when they were running Rogue Squadron. So yeah, she's not just a background character, she's in charge, and based on leaked shots of her in her pilot suit, we know she'll be suiting up to fly in the movie at some point. And then we see Din Djarin and Grogu meeting with her character, and this is a big one because if you remember at the end of Mandalorian season 3, Din met with Carson Teva and offered to help track down Imperial remnants. So this scene looks like a direct follow-up to that. Now in this next scene there's not a lot, it's just Mando walking through an unknown city, and in the background, this is the big clue, it says spice in Arabesh, and I think this could be the planet Nar Shaddaa. Now Nar Shaddaa was the Hutt's Coruscant. It was the crime capital of the galaxy, and it was better known as the Smuggler's Moon because it only consisted of pirates, outlaws, and bounty hunters. It's just a world full of criminals. And Mando gets into a bar fight and it's everything you'd expect, but standing behind them is something you might have missed. The bartender is an Iktachi, which is the same species as Jedi Master Saisi Tin from the Jedi Council. And then this is wild, we get a glimpse of an Amanin. Yeah, this is a super deep cut. These guys first showed up in Return of the Jedi as a background character in Jabba's palace, and they've barely been seen since. And then we're back in the cockpit of this new Razor Crest, and it seems like Grogu is growing because he's now assisting Din in the takeoff procedure for this new Razor Crest. Okay, now this next part is where things get really interesting. We see the Razor Crest is being chased by 3 ships, and at first glance everyone is calling them TIEs. Many folks are saying guessing that they're TIE interceptors because of their elongated wings, which makes sense. But here's the catch, their blaster bolts are red, and that's not standard for TIE interceptors. I think the most likely theory, and a lot of fans are leaning this way, is that these are separatist droid fighters. But to me, this is wrong as well because their silhouette doesn't match and their wing struts are way too narrow. Plus, they have the iconic TIE ball cockpit. Now, I think these might be the TIE Ds, or better known as TIE droid fighters, which is straight out of Legends. It's a deep cut. If you ever played Star Wars Rogue Squadron, you would be familiar with them when they assisted the World Devastators in attacking Mon Calamari. What really gives this away to me is that you kind of see a red glow coming from the cockpit and the wings appear very squarish as well. And this would make a lot of sense for this time period because we've seen the Empire experimenting with droid tech, example the Dark Troopers, and the TIE D is the next evolution of the Separatist fighter. And because the Imperial Remnant is probably suffering from a lack of manpower during this time, it makes complete sense that they would just replace people with droids. Next up, we see Grogu swimming, and I think this could be in the living waters of Mandalore, and there's actually a clue confirming this, but I'll share that towards the end of the video. And then we got something I thought we would never see, Zeb Aurelius, who's from Star Wars Rebels and part of the Ghost Crew, and now an official pilot of the Adelphi Rangers, in full action taking down stormtroopers with his bow rifle staff, and it looks amazing. And as a huge Rebels fan, I'm a fan of this. And then we get an absolutely adorable shot, Grogu riding with the Anzellans on a miniature speeder, and it's hilarious because Grogu looks huge compared to them. Next up, we see Din Djarin using his Mandalorian jetpack, and he's carrying who I assume is Grogu, and he's flying straight towards a New Republic U-Wing. Yes, the U-Wing is back. And then we get the infamous shot of Rotta the Hutt, who is Jabba's son. And last time we saw him, he was just a baby in the Clone Wars movie, being rescued by Anakin and Ahsoka from the Separatists. But now he's massive and buff, just like Gracchus the Hutt from the comics. And he appears to be entering an arena fight just for fun, or he just won. And then it cuts to Grogu and Mando, and Grogu is eating Mantell mix, which is the same colorful popcorn that we saw Omega and Wrecker devour in the Bad Batch back on Ord Mantell. So a pretty cool Easter egg there. And we then see two hodgepodge Iron Man looking droids guarding a door with Jabba's clan seal on it. So yeah, holy smokes, we're definitely heading to Nal Hutta in live action, and I'm wondering if the Hutts added these droids after the last time their chambers were attacked by Darth Maul. It makes sense they'd want something tougher than Gamorreans if another Force wielder showed up. And we see it, Din's Amban phase pulse rifle is back, and it seems like he's getting all his favorite things back for this film. Next we see Mando going head to head with the live Mantellian Savrip, which first showed up as a hologram on the Djarin board in the Millennium Falcon. I think it's really cool that they're bringing all these creatures to live action. And then finally we see Din and Grogu escaping an exploding walker, specifically an AT-ATP, which stands for All-Terrain Advanced Tactical Prototype. This thing first showed up in Star Wars Rebels, and it's basically the early version of the AT-AT, but with a bulkier frame. But here's where it gets interesting. Right after that, we see another AT-ATP falling off a cliff on a snowy planet. A lot of people have speculated that this could be Hoth, but I think it actually might be Jardine 4. And the reason why is because Jardine 4 was a home to Walker Operations and Tactics Training Center, and that could explain why we're seeing older walkers. It's where they test and train new recruits. Now circling back to Grogu swimming and how I believe it's the living waters of Mandalore, there's a huge reveal on the poster that I don't think anybody has noticed yet, or at least they haven't talked about it yet, and that's that the Mythosaur is fighting Din Djarin on the poster. So it seems like it's going to be Din Djarin riding the Mythosaur when we all thought it was going to be Bo-Katan at the end of season 3 of The Mandalorian. And that's everything I spotted. I think this film is going to be amazing overall. It really reminds me of season 1 and season 2 of The Mandalorian. I really love all the deep lore cuts and the attention to detail that I'm seeing. Let me know in the comments if you noticed anything I missed, and let me know what you guys think of this trailer. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like the video, and if you want more Star Wars news, make sure you subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you.